Hello everyone. In class 11th mathematics, after complex numbers, now today we are starting next chapter, next topic, chapter 10, quadratic equations. The chapter has been divided into 3 parts. So today in first part we are going to understand what are quadratic equations and functions. This you have already done in class 10th, the solution of quadratic equations by factorization and using the formula. Then nature or character of the roots. We will study this in detail. Sum and product of the roots and formation of equations. Now with first part, you need to know that this part has been omitted from the syllabus for this session. Equations reducible to quadratic form. Exercise 10b of the book has been omitted. So you need not do exercise 10b and this topic. So let's get started with today's topic. Now first we will understand what is quadratic functions. Quadratic function is a function that may be defined as a particular equation where we have a term of highest power 2. Now here a, b and c are complex numbers, or they can be constants or parameters. Now the necessary condition is a should be non-zero, because if a is 0, this whole term will be vanished, because 0 into anything will be 0. So this term will vanish in that case. So we will be left with bx plus c, which is not a quadratic equation because here the highest power is 1. So that is why this is the compulsory condition. A has to be non-zero. Then b and c can be 0. For example, if b and c are 0, then the equation will be ax square, and a can be any fraction or number or a complex number, real number. If b is 0 only, then it can be ax square plus c. The examples can be half x square minus 4 and so on. If only c is 0, we have certain functions as ax square plus bx. For example, x square plus 4x. So the only condition is the coefficient of highest power term should be non-zero, so that this term exists and we can call it a quadratic equation. Quadratic equation now is an equation of the form ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. Whenever we equate it to 0, it becomes quadratic equation. And here function means function of a particular variable x. So I can write is even fx. This is also fx, function of variable x. Suppose if I want to write fy, so my quadratic function equation converts to y square plus 3y plus 2 and so on. Now this is a quadratic function with variable y, and so we can change different type of variables, say theta. So theta square plus 2 theta minus 1 and so on. So function, quadratic function with variable theta. And whenever we express quadratic equation with 0, equate it with 0, this becomes quadratic equation. This is quadratic function, this is quadratic equation. Now you know how to solve quadratic equation. There are two ways. One is factorization by splitting middle term, or there are other ways also, and the second one is using the formula. Now the formula was x equals to minus b plus minus under root b square minus 4ac upon 2a. So in the first exercise, we are only going to solve the quadratic equations either by the formula or by factorization. This you have already done in class 10, so won't take much time. I will solve one question of the case of complex numbers. Real number cases you are already familiar with. Now this question I have taken from the exercise. Question number 4, find the roots of this. Let's see. Minus b plus minus under root b square minus 4ac upon 2a, and here a is 1, b minus 2, and c is 5. So let us substitute minus of minus 2, then square of minus 2 will be 4 into 4ac divided by 2a, which is 1. So minus minus plus 2, 4 minus 20 upon 2. Make sure the sign, both plus minus, should be clearly visible in your solution. This is minus 16 upon 2. Now this 16 under root means 4, and under root minus 1 means I, imaginary number. Then 2 by 2 plus minus 4i by 2, 1 plus minus 2i. So first value is 1 plus 2i, and the second value is 1 minus 2i. So these are the roots. Okay, now you have already done so many questions in class 10 of finding real roots and integral roots. So this time only the single addition of complex roots. Second thing, quadratic equation ax square plus bx plus c equals to 0. The maximum power is 2. That means the maximum roots you are going to have, maximum, and you can say minimum also. Maximum number of roots that you can have will be 2. You will never get more than 2 roots from a quadratic equation. The maximum power of particular equation decides how many roots that particular equation is going to get. If I have an equation of power 3, suppose ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d equals to 0, then this is definitely going to have 3 roots. Alright, so maximum power defines how many roots of that particular equation is going to get. If the power is 1, suppose I'm taking an example, x plus 4 equals to 0. Maximum power 1, maximum root will be 1. So x equals to minus 4, as simple as that in case of linear equations. Power 1 linear, power 2 quadratic, power 3 cubic. Same way, if the power is 4, the equation will have 4 roots, and so on. Alright, now so from 10a you can mark the following questions which I have marked with pencil, and do only these questions. These are enough. In some cases you will get integral answer or real answer. In some cases you will get complex answers. So practice these many questions from this exercise. Then in the next video I will start next topic. Next topic is nature or character of the roots. Now this is discriminant b square minus 4ac. To check the nature of the root, that means to check whether the roots are positive, negative, rational, irrational, whether the roots are going to be equal, the answers will be in integers or not, we will check from this formula. So d, discriminant, we will calculate. We will not find the roots by actual calculation, we will only find discriminant. Now if discriminant is greater than 0, that means if d is positive, then there are two cases whether the roots can be rational or irrational. Rational when d is a perfect square, and irrational roots if d is not a perfect square. Then when d is equals to 0, this you already know, the roots are going to be real and equal, and each root will be equal to minus b by 2a. The third case, when discriminant is negative, then the roots are going to be imaginary complex roots. So this you need to remember. They may ask you to examine the nature of the roots without finding the roots. So in that case you need to just find discriminant, and according to these given conditions you need to decide the nature of the roots without actual findings. Let's try one or two questions of this type. Now these are two questions from the exercise 10b. Without solving, find the nature of the roots. So only we are going to find discriminant. B square minus 4ac. B minus 7 square minus 4 into A into C. 49 minus 60. So obviously the answer is going to be negative. When D is negative, the roots are imaginary or complex roots. So we need not actually find the roots. We are supposed to only find the nature of the root. Let's try this. D is equals to B square minus 4 into A into C. 16 minus 16, 0. In case of 0, the roots are real and equal, and each root will be equal to minus b by 2a. Let's do this extra step. So the value of the root should be minus b upon 2a. So 4 and 4 cancel. Answer should be minus 1 by 2. So if you do it by splitting middle term, you will get both the roots to be equal to minus 1 by 2. You can actually try it. Next topic is sum and product of the roots. So there is a quadratic equation ax square plus bx plus c, and the roots are minus b plus root d upon 2a, and the same with minus, where d is discriminant, which is equals to b square minus 4ac. Now let us find sum of the roots. So let us name the roots. Let alpha and beta be the two roots. That means the first one named as alpha, second one named as beta. Okay. So or you can name it x1, x2. It is completely your wish. So I am naming this alpha and this one beta. Right. Sum of the roots minus b plus under root d upon 2a plus minus b minus d upon 2a. Taking up LCM, minus b minus d. So cancel. We are left with minus 2b upon 2a, which is equals to minus b upon a. That means sum of the roots is minus b upon a. B is the coefficient of x and a is the coefficient of x square. Then let's see product. This was sum. Product alpha into beta will be minus b upon 2a into minus b minus root d upon 2a. So denominator will be 4a square, and the numerator a minus b, a plus b. So square of a minus square of b. B square minus d square, not square, root and square got cancelled, 4a square. Now d value I can substitute from here, b square minus 4ac. So b square minus 4ac upon 4a square. So b square minus b square plus 4ac. Minus sign, inner signs will change. Cancel. So we are left with 4ac upon 4a square. 4 and 4 cancel, a cancel. We are left with c by a. C by a is alpha beta. The product constant term divided by a, the coefficient of x square. So from all that we have found the sum of the roots of any quadratic equation will be this minus coefficient of x upon coefficient of x square, or directly you can remember minus b by a if you know the standard form. and the product constant term upon coefficient of x square, which is c by a. Now how it is useful to us, you need to remember this as formulas. How these formulas are useful to us, let's see. Okay, one question from the exercise, question number 6. If alpha and beta are the roots of the given quadratic equations, so that means sum will be minus b by a, minus, this is a, let us write somewhere, a is 1, b is 1, c is also 1, simple quadratic equation. So minus 1 by 1 is 1, and the product is also c by a is going to be 1 by 1. Now we need to find alpha cube plus beta cube. If you remember the formula, alpha plus beta now alpha plus beta we have already done, minus 1 into alpha square plus beta square, and alpha beta value I have substituted. Now this also is missing, so I need to solve this first. Now since alpha plus beta is minus 1, if I do squaring both sides, I will get alpha square plus beta square plus 2 alpha beta equals to 1. Alpha beta is, from the same equation, alpha beta is 1. So 2 into 1, 1. So alpha square plus beta square is 1 minus 2 minus 1. So that means this value is minus 1. Minus 1 minus 1. Minus 1 into minus 2. The answer is 2. I hope this point is clear to you, how we are going to use sum and the product of root. So in any question now, wherever you see alpha beta are the roots of the given equation, you have to use sum of the roots and product of the roots, whether they are in symbols or in numericals. Next, formation of equation. This topic also we have done in class 10th. When two roots are given, I need to form an equation with these two roots. So this means x minus 5 is 0, and this means x minus 7 is 0. So ultimately we used to multiply in class 10th to find proper equation, and we will get, after multiplying, x square minus 12x plus 35. Now here we have derived a proper formula for this, which is x square minus sum of the roots, which is alpha plus beta, into x plus product of the roots equals to 0. So let's check in the same case. X square minus, the roots are 5 and 7, so 5 plus 7, and product is 5 into 7 equals to 0. So x square minus 12x plus 35. So this, if you can remember, well and good, otherwise this way we already are having, right? So any type of equation you can form if you have been given two roots. Suppose the roots are given to be alpha, first root is alpha and the second root is beta. In that case it is x square minus alpha plus beta into x plus product of roots alpha beta. So this works for all the possible values of the roots. Question number 8 from the exercise. If the roots of the equation, so quadratic equation is this given in the question, are denoted by, roots are denoted by alpha and beta, then this information is given, find the possible values of p. So first let us find alpha plus beta, which is minus b by a. Coefficient of x, so minus p, and a is 1, so divided by 1. This is c by a, 7 by 1, 7. This is given, let us use this information, alpha plus beta is minus p, squaring both sides, alpha plus beta whole square minus p whole square, alpha square plus beta square plus 2 alpha beta equals to p square. Now this is given in the question. 22 plus 2 alpha beta is 7 p square. 22 plus 14 is p square, which is 36. So p will be plus minus 6. So the possible values are p can be either plus 6 or minus 6. Next question, 15. If alpha and beta are the roots of this quadratic equation, so first of all I should write the sum of the roots minus b by a. So minus 1 by 1 is 1, minus 1. And alpha beta, the product is c by a, which is minus 7 by 1, so minus 7. Now form the equation whose roots are alpha square and beta square. That means the equation will be x square minus sum of the roots, and in this case the roots are this, plus into x plus product of the roots. So ultimately if I can find this and this, I can substitute here. So this straight away will be alpha beta square, which is equals to minus 7 whole square 49. So this is 49, this is x square minus, let us find alpha square plus beta square from this. Since alpha plus beta is minus 1, squaring both sides will be alpha square plus beta square plus 2 alpha beta is minus 1. So this we need to find, plus alpha beta is minus 7 equals to minus 1. So alpha square plus beta square equals to minus 1. This is minus 14. This will change its, see, this is minus 1 to plus 1, square of this, and plus 14. So this is 15. Substituting here, the final equation is x square plus minus 15x plus 49 equals to 0. So we have just done sum of the roots and product of the roots using the sum and product of the roots with given quadratic equation. Quadratic equation was given, alpha and beta were the roots, so we found alpha plus beta and alpha into beta, the sum and product. Next we need to form an equation whose roots are this. That means the equation should be of this form: x square minus sum of the roots in this case are these two, x plus product of the roots. So using these two I have filled up the following things, and this is the final answer. Last type of question, given that alpha and beta are the roots of the equation, first of all express your equation in the standard form: x square minus x minus 7 equals to 0, so that we can easily identify a, b and c. Now prove this. So our first step is to find sum of the roots, which is minus b by a, and in this case b is already minus 1 upon 1, so 1, and the product c by a minus 7 by 1 minus 7. Now using these two, suppose I am using this one, alpha beta is minus 7, I need 1 by alpha, so I am shifting this in the denominator, so this will become 1 by alpha. If you have any doubt, you can cross multiply back and check whether the previous equation is coming or not. Alpha beta minus 7, so 1 upon alpha is equals to beta by minus 7, and value of beta, let us take from here, alpha plus beta, it is 1, so beta is 1 minus alpha. So beta, if I substitute 1 minus alpha upon minus 7, minus, I am going to write in the numerator this will be 1 minus 1 plus alpha upon 7, or I can write as alpha minus 1 upon 7 equal to 1 by alpha, hence proved. Then find the numerical value of this. So let us simplify it here by taking LCM beta alpha. In the numerator it will be alpha square and beta square sum. So alpha beta value we are having minus 7. So in the denominator it is minus 7. Alpha square plus beta square I need to find from first equation like usual. So here I am finding here alpha plus beta is 1, squaring both sides, alpha square plus beta square plus 2 alpha beta equals to 1. So from here alpha square plus beta square equals to 1 minus 2, value of alpha beta is minus 7. So which is 1 plus 14, 15. So substituting here again it is 15. So or I can write minus 15 by 7. This is answer. So I am ending up here. All types I have covered, one question each. Now you are expected to solve exercise 10C. As many questions as you can do. It is up to you. The more practice you are going to do, you are going to get more familiar with the topic. Alright.